sharing the live stream. It's preparing us to live stream, Jules. It's
Cool. I'm
good.
making a thing that says, sorry, we suck. Come find it here.
Ah, ah. Well, we're trying. Which I'm trying. Ah, ah, which I'm trying. Okay, I think we're here. Okay, I think we're here.
Okay,
I
yay.
can.
We're trying.
Yay! Hey everybody.
Which I'm
Hello.
trying.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry, guys. This is all my fault. This was all. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Um. Yeah. So, Julie, how are you doing? While I figure out what the heck I'm doing here with other things. How are you?
I mean, I'm good. I'm trying to post to people that we're over here now. Ha ha. No, I'm doing
Yeah.
okay. I came flying home from dance and we're doing okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
trying to make it happen, y'all.
Trying to make it
It's been
happen.
like, what, 2 years since we've done one of these? Has it been that long?
I think it's been a while.
It's
I
been a
think it
good
has been a
while.
while. I'll be honest with you. I think it has been a while. I think uh it's we've missed you guys. Um
Absolutely.
yeah, and I hope everybody's doing well. I am so sorry. Guys, we had StreamYard up earlier and we were making all kinds of stuff happen and yeah. It didn't go quite the way we wanted to. So I am so sorry. I can see us, I believe, live.
There we
Um
are. Whitney's
okay.
here.
Hi, Whitney. Hey. Okay. I think
Yay!
I yay. Here's all the ways you can find us. Never mind. Just kidding. JK. All right. So yeah, we are trying to this is why, Julie, sometimes we have to do it more, right?
Yeah, it's
Um
just been a minute. We'll
it's
get
just
it.
been a
We'll get
minute.
it.
Yes. Hi, Whitney. It's great to see you, honey. Appreciate you. Yeah, so again, folks, I apologize. We are really trying to get this right, and we are stumbling around, or I am stumbling around. Julie's being very cool. I am not. So, but we needed to come on because we've been a little late on things, and so yeah, guys, thank you for being here. We'll give it a couple of minutes for folks to show up and hang out with us, and yeah, yeah, we appreciate you.
We do, and
So
we're sorry.
yes. So let's think about how 2024 has been. I
Girl,
don't know. I I was just wondering how it's been for you, Jules. How has 2024 been?
it's been interesting. There's been a lot happening.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
Um,
change, you
hmm
know.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
so too. I've had things coming up that you know what? Every time I feel like I've gotten to a certain point where it's like calm and okay, then I get something else dumped on me. So which
Girl,
it happens, right? We have to kind of work through this stuff, and I understand it makes us stronger and all that, but I can also tell you that my brain sometimes feels like exploding from all that. So, um, yeah, Whitney, it has been too long. It has been too long. That's why we wanted to come on and see you guys. And by the way, folks, if you're finding us through the replay because you can't find us live, I promise you this will not happen again. We
well,
are,
we're gonna work really hard that it won't happen again, we promise.
but this was kind of a
If
last
y'all
minute,
know
like,
us,
you know,
yeah, I was like, let's do this.
and we have, and we did, and here we are, and we have some people watching, which I appreciate. Um, guys, I'm so sorry. I really, I'm so sorry. All right. So yes, if you're watching us on replay, thank you. If you're watching us live, thank you. We've had a lot going on this year, as I'm sure you've had. Thinking about things, for this year, you know, I'm grateful we're all still here for the folks that are obviously still here and folks that have
Yeah.
left us. Hey Elizabeth, hey. Um, yeah, so I can tell you one of my highlights of 2024 because we might as well talk about some highlights is actually graduating from my master's. So
Woo!
yes, I have a master's degree now in spirituality, master's of arts. Um, and so I want to do things for people where we have the Traveling Soul Sanctuary going on, which is bringing people together for communication and spirituality and things like that. So if you haven't seen it yet, travelingsoulsanctuary.com. Traveling Souls, so it's plural, travelingsoulsanctuary.com. So definitely come and check it out. Please come. We have a spiritual recovery group meeting. We also have, actually, it will be happening December 29th. We're going to have a ritual ceremony, community gathering. So please join us. Jules, what about you? What's been really good for you this year? Was this the year you got your promotion? Do I remember? Oh, it was last year.
It was like the end of last year. I mean, right at the end. We're like
Right
right
at the
around
end.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we got that, which has been an exciting new challenge.
Mm. Yes,
What have
ma'am.
we done this year? We went to a lot of things. I went to Scotland. That was
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
let's see.
We met
I got
Bianca
to see
Del
some good
Rio.
bands. We met Bianca Del Rio, and my person left my body. And I
But
could
it was.
only pose like when I was back in color guard for those pictures. But it was amazing. She complimented my hair and then I was
She
gone.
did. Yeah, yeah. It was amazing because I remember her saying, "Is this your real hair?" And you were like, right. I saw the
It's
moment.
gone. Just bye.
I saw the moment. You were gone. And then and of course, me being me, I was like, I am wearing an orthopedic drag shoe, which was what she was saying during a show posting because she had had surgery. So I walked over. I'm like, look, I'm wearing an orthopedic drag shoe too. That was my entrance to Bianca Del Rio. So I have to say that my dear Julie definitely handled that better than I did.
I don't think so because I think I kind of was just like, uh-huh, yes,
She even fluffed
hi.
it. I don't know if you remember. She fluffed it. It was so cute. It was really, really cute. So yes. So part of why we wanted to do this live tonight, guys, was to say hi to everybody, let you know what's been going on, talk a little bit about how we used to talk about some stuff before, and maybe do a reading or two.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah. So Julie, I was wondering. Now you started, not that you started, but you reignited your hearth. What? God, hedge and hearth fire. Why that escaped my brain for a second? I apologize.
Oh, that's okay.
Um,
Possibly because I kind of don't use that name anymore, whatever. But yes, like I started that. I've started seeing clients again,
yeah,
which is exciting.
okay.
Yep. And actually, all of you who have heard me talk about, like, oh, one day we'll have a website you can find anywhere. I actually have a website now, which is great.
Jill has a
Uh,
website.
watch out, we're professionals. So yeah, so over at like julieatkinson.com, I'm seeing people in office again for Reiki, which is exciting. Yeah, it's good. Doing a
It's
lot of dance
fabulous.
stuff. We spoke at conference this year
Yes, we did.
up
We
at
did.
Changing Times, Changing Worlds.
Changing
That was
world.
exciting.
That was fun.
And
Yeah.
you did Magical Women's Conference. That was awesome.
I did. I actually went to Birmingham, England, folks, to do that one. That was really fun.
She's
Um,
international. She's amazing.
International famous witch. Yeah, super famous. Yes, yes, of course. It's very hard to be me. Kidding. I'm very much kidding, guys. Very much. Very humbled that I got picked to do that conference, and I will be doing it again, guys. So in June of 2025, I will be again at the Magical Women's Conference in Birmingham, England. If you would like to travel out there, of course, I would love to see you teaching about Santa Muerte. So I'm very excited about that.
That's
But
very
anyway, so
awesome.
enough about what we're doing. We just wanted to update you, but we also wanted to talk a little bit about um, Julie and I wanted to look at something that was coming up for us a lot and share it with you. So here we are. I believe a lot in signs. I believe a lot in of in I believe a lot in signs because I believe the spirit world is communicating with us on. And it came up in my mind recently again because I was watching. Sometimes you get into the tickety talk, and you're watching videos, and I happened to see a video of Sugarcane, who was one of the drag queens on season. Let's see, was she 12, 13? I'm not sure. But anyway, this particular drag queen, and when she came out, the video I happened to catch on TikTok was she came out for the reunion, and she had a dress that she was holding, and then she
Mhm.
let it go, and it was a picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Now, I am a big fan of Santa Muerte, and they say that one of her counterparts or her softer sister energy is Our Lady of Guadalupe. So I saw that and I went, oh, hello, Santa Muerte.
A little sign for
Um,
you there.
a little sign, yeah, because it's I'm sure with everybody, we've had our struggles, and towards the end of this year has definitely been something, something, you know.
A lot
So
happening.
yeah, and so I was like, oh, there's a sign. This is great. And the one thing I didn't try to do was explain it away. I didn't
See,
try to
that's a good
say,
point.
hmm I didn't try to say to myself, gee, there's that can't be from me, and that can't be from Sansa and Wetse, and that can't be, that can't be, that can't be. And I was like, no, that's for me. That's the
Yeah.
sign. I need
Yeah.
to, give her props and keep going. So I think one of the biggest things is, not to explain away these signs that you get. And I think that we do that sometimes because it's like, well, why would spirit be talking to me? Why would spirit be like giving me a sign for something? Why would they um want us to know what's going on with them? Kind of thing. Like why would they be paying attention to me, us,
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
They do. I mean, it's very simple. They do. So I think it's important to remember that when the spirits are communicating with you, that you don't do this thing where you explain it away. Like you
Oh,
don't say this is,
oh, you don't do what I do, like all the time.
I
That's
listen.
something. Did I get something?
Was that a sign?
And then I get like 20 birds in my yard, and I'm like, there it is. Okay.
Oh, I love that. I love those bird stories because they start off small. There's like
Start off
one or
small. They
two.
start like there's a goose, and then there's like four geese.
Right.
And then your kids are like, Mom, why are there all these birds in our yard? And I'm like, I don't know, nature's weird. And then I'm like texting Mary, like, what I forget?
And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Jules, this is the thing you need to do, or this is the thing they're trying to
Right.
communicate, which I know it's like you just confirm. You're like, oh yeah, I think I remember that's what that was. And I'm like, okay, good. You know,
Right. Right.
because it's important. I remember I really started, not that I didn't believe in science before, but when my dad passed away in 2014, he was May
Yeah.
of 2014. I remember it was the first Halloween or Samhain, that was, so, some of us know what is
Yeah.
Samhain. And I was like, Dad, I was at the mall, I was getting my nails done, because that's where I get my nails done. And I walked into the mall. I parked in I know that's what I do. So I parked in a completely different place than I usually park for whatever reason. I just was like, oh, I'm running late. Let me park here. And I ran
Yeah.
in, and I was sitting there while she's filing my nails. And I said, it'd be really great, that spirit, if I got a sign from my dad, because this is when the veil is supposed to be thinner. And I was like, all kind of,
Yeah.
uppity at spirit. So I remember walking, I went to walk out of the mall, and I got a phone call from one of my clients. So they had some comfy chairs to sit in. So before I left the mall, I sat down and I'm on the phone with her, and I was chatting with her. And then I got up and I walked outside, and a car passed in front of me as soon as I walked outside. So I couldn't step off the curb until it went by. And when it did, I turned and looked. And my father's name, what he usually went by, was Jack. And the license plate was Jacky, Jackie.
Yeah.
And my mother used to call Dad Jackie. So I was like, oh, you tricky, 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 tricky spirit. Hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't, I mean, there are coincidences out there, but I also don't necessarily believe they're just a coincidence.
Yeah.
So that was Dad, like, what's up, kid? Um, so those signs are really important. And I don't know if you guys in the chat want to, share any kind of signs that you've gotten, or if you're watching the replay, you're definitely more than welcome to comment. But that's really important that, you recognize those signs. We're never really truly alone, though. There's times you really feel like you are, you know.
Yeah.
Um, as Sarah McLachlan said, in the arms of the angel.
Are you
I
depressed
back
and
no, it's
sad?
the dogs that are like, I mean, how
Are
can
you the
you?
dog in this situation?
Are you the dog? Am I the drama? Is that what it is? Am I the drama? I might be the drama.
I might be the
Um,
drama.
I might be the drama. So yeah, I as she says, you're never alone in that song, and you really aren't. So just keep that in mind, guys. And if you want to ask the spirits for a sign, ask them. Just say, hey, my ancestor, or hey, Saint Michael, or hey, Santa Muerte. Sorry, you were third, ma'am. But like, can you help me? I need to know that this is going to turn out okay or whatever. And they are
Yeah.
clever, man. They are so clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have anything to add about science, Jules? Because I know
I
you're
mean,
you're you're birds. You're birds.
I got birds. I got I got birds.
I got
I
birds.
also got like license plates sometimes. I think it's
Oh
just
yeah.
um well, there's two parts to this, right? One, it's like don't dismiss things that feel right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not every sign's going to be the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And people aren't going to come back and visit you in the same way that they do everyone else, right? Sometimes
Right.
it's, something that reminds you of someone. It could be a smell. It could be, depends on how you interact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, could be certain animal, get birds, but that's more
Birds.
like rigid stuff for me. But anyway,
Yeah.
but also don't let the algorithm pretend it's a sign because it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Right.
marketing. So just watch out for that because we can all want to confirm things in different ways, especially when we're not feeling our
Mm-hmm.
best. So don't let the algorithm trick you into possibly buying a $700 course you don't need.
Correct.
So
At 3 o'clock in the morning, folks.
At look, or then we're looking on our Kindle thinking we need to buy a book, and then we realize we bought it 3 years ago. Whatever, just read it. But
I I bow my head in shame because
look, we
the
do
other
it
night
all the time.
the other night I was like, oh, I want to read these two books, and I looked both of them up on Amazon, and both of them were like, hey, stupid, you bought these 3 years ago, and I was like,
I, yeah, I
okay,
know.
yeah,
I
um,
know. And maybe that's a sign to read it again that you're thinking about it, but I think
hmm
they're important. I think that depending on your personality, if you're like me, you can be quick to like dismiss stuff. And if you have a friend or like a hype club that you want to check with, like you can always check out. I often am like, yeah, but I don't think that was anything, Mary. And she's like,
as you can see me
okay, we're
rolling
gonna have
my
a
eyes.
discussion about this again, right? Like because it's really obvious. So, but it's okay to have a little bit of skepticism,
Sure,
but
sure.
especially when it comes to algorithms and the like, but just
hmm
kind of be open to them and, pay attention. And it might seem like a coincidence, or it might seem like as you're getting new ones, it might show
Yeah,
up a few times before you realize that that's for
then that's
you.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a story about that, which I know some of you may have heard this story before, but I really love this story. So October 2014, I'm standing in the airport, Miami airport, coming back from a spiritual uh, thing. I'll say it that way, a spiritual thing.
A special
And I'm standing,
spiritual thing.
a special spiritual thing. And I'm in the airport, and I'm looking for a drink. And in front of me, at the time, Coca-Cola was doing those name drinks. They put the names on them.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking about my dad, so my dad's legal name was James, but they always called him Jack. It's just how it went. So actually, I won't. I'm going to kill my darling there. I won't tell you the whole story about his name. But anyway, they called him Jack. He went by James. So in front of me, there's right like eye level, as many of you may know, I'm only 5 feet tall. At eye level, there's a Diet Coke that says James. So I'm like, okay, so I buy it. I take a picture of it and I send it to my brother, who is definitely on the other end of where I am as far as spirituality and science. So he's a believer, but not anywhere near like I am. So I sent him a picture of it and I said, "Do you think this is a sign from Dad?" Right now, meanwhile, I'm questioning. This is something I see signs all the time, but I'm questioning
Sure.
this. So I get a text back and it says, "You're asking me that question?" And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And he said, okay, look, it's a sign from Dad. He's telling you to have a safe flight. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, right? So, of course, Dad is clever. So I get on the flight and they come over for the drink. order, and I say, oh, I'd love a Diet Coke. And I can see it as the flight attendant's walking down towards me with it. And on the Diet Coke can, it says, have a Coke with Dad.
Oh, snap.
And I was like, oh, oh. So I start crying. The guy next to me is like,
Oh,
um,
oh.
Diet Coke's upsetting you? I'm like, no, it's a sign for my dad. He just died. And the guy's like, oh, lady, I don't, whatever. And I was like, oh, I gotta keep the can. So I drank the whole thing, and then I stuffed the can in my carry-on so I could take it out with me. And I have them
Yeah.
both at my office. If y'all know, I have an office in Winchester, and it's still at my office. So, you can doubt those signs too, but sometimes your spirits are like,
They're like, hey, girl.
Hey, girl, you're gonna doubt me now? So then I sent a picture
Right.
to Anthony again, and I said, so what do you think? He's like, yeah, that's right, that's Dad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's those signs. That's what I mean, guys. Like it's really important. Julie makes a great point about the algorithm. But also, sometimes just in our day-to-day lives we get signs, and you have to embrace them. And the
Yeah.
other thing I'll say is, listen, if you think it's a sign, it's a sign.
Yeah.
Because you'll find 1,000 ways to talk yourself out of that being a connection to the spirit world so simply. Or again, like, why me? Well, because why not you? Right?
Yeah.
Let them give you that sign. And sometimes I got to tell you, like, I've asked for signs for stuff, and I've been like, can I have a sign that this situation is going to go this way? And then
Right.
I get a sign that it's not. And I'm like, well, maybe it's not going to go this way right now. Like, maybe it'll change. And then I get another sign that's like, no, girl, this is not the way it's going to go. You got to make a different choice. And I'm like,
right. Yes.
Or you try to make a sign fit. You know what I mean? Like, you
Oh,
make the
yeah.
sign fit.
But
It's
what if
like,
it?
oh, this person called me, and there's one digit in this phone number to this person I want to hear from's phone number. So that one digit means that's a sign, right?
Don't work too hard.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right.
So,
Right.
right. So, things to consider, folks, in the idea of signs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I know we were on here late, guys, and we're a little bit behind. So I just wanted to we're gonna do some readings, Jules, for folks. You
Yeah.
up for that? Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So,
Look, it's
guys, if
old
you
school. We'll make the
old
list.
school, right, right. Guys, if you would like a reading, just say, hey, I'd like a card in the chat. Depending on how many we have, we'll see how many we do. But
And
if
I
anybody
mean,
would like a
got a good
card, what?
chance. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody would like a card tonight, great. If we don't get any, Julie and I are just gonna do a general reading for folks that are watching, and you can take that on as your own.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, Jules, we have some folks. I don't know if my chat's not working right, but I haven't seen any. So why don't we just do a
I
general
haven't
reading for
either,
everybody
so
that's
I'm
watching?
gonna double check one thing real fast, just in
Oh,
case.
oh, we've
Let
got,
me
okay.
reload it
They're
just
coming
in
up. They're
case.
coming up. We got a couple. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So I
All right.
spoke too soon.
And yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't know what order these are in anymore, y'all. So I'm just gonna go first. We're gonna do Elizabeth.
Okay.
Then we'll
Don't
do
worry.
Whitney.
Yeah, and then I have Margie also.
Yep.
So okay. So we got you guys. That's the order we're gonna do it in. All right, Miss Elizabeth first. Do you want to Hi George. Okay, honey. Do you want to start first, or would you like me to start first?
You start first. I am digging this list here, and then also, okay, and I see
Okay.
George. And then I'm
Okay.
going to, I gotta get my cards out.
All right. Well, I'll start
Decide
while
which
you're
one.
doing that.
So you
Yes.
start.
It's a comedy of errors tonight, folks. So we are here for you.
Y'all,
So
it's a people are gonna be like, okay, but
oh
you were here for it live. You got to
yeah.
experience it live. Aren't you lucky? Don't you
Lucky,
love it?
All right. So Elizabeth, we've got Two of Cups, the Star, and Strength all upright. So what I would
Ooh.
say is my sense from this is there is a partner out there, but it's not the partner you might be looking at right now. So I would be very careful at kind of not pigeonholing someone as like, this is my person, but also I think there's another opportunity here for you. And I would say it may be time to let something fade out or let something go or not maybe, like sometimes when you stop calling somebody, it's like a friend or whatever. Sometimes that's like, well, they don't respond, they don't call you. It's like, well, that friendship faded out. And I think that might be what I'm seeing here. But there is the Two of Cups. There is that partnership. But again, I think it's and I don't know, it's not necessarily waiting on somebody, but it's opening up your options, is what I would say, Elizabeth. So keep those eyes open, okay? All right. What are you getting, Jules?
Let's see what this deck does. This is the
What deck do you have?
this is the deck that I got in Scotland that I haven't really used too
Ooh,
much yet. The Celtic Healing Oracle. You guys know I
ooh,
usually use like that Sacred Self-Care Oracle, but we're gonna try this one. Let's see what it needs for Elizabeth.
I like
All
it.
right, all right, all right. We got Presence of Ancestors, Ancient Ones. So you might want to take a minute, maybe meditate with them, see if they've got anything to say, maybe look for signs from family around.
Signs everywhere, the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. The other,
Yeah,
if I can kind of jump on the back of that for a second, because I
do
got
it.
this, yeah. Elizabeth, if you had somebody, like, so this could be for everybody, all right? But
Uh-huh.
if you had someone in spirit that did things really well for something you want to do, in other words, someone that had a good marriage, an ancestor that had a good marriage, someone that had really successful businesses, someone that had a lot of creative talent. If, in your family, usually it's a little easier to connect with them, but, I mean, what I would do is sometimes you can connect with those energies to ask like what you need to know around creating that in your life.
Ooh, yeah.
So sometimes folks do have advice if you get into that quiet state. So before y'all tell me you can't meditate, everybody can meditate because we can focus. It's focusing on the silence, and it's giving yourself the chance to, even if you sit for 2 minutes, you put
Yeah,
that intention out there. Maybe for those 2 minutes you don't get something, but then throughout your day you will.
right.
Yeah,
And
but
don't make the mistake that I used to, where it was like, but I don't have my perfect sitting space with all of this stuff. You don't need it. Just try to
no,
be quiet for a couple minutes, which can be difficult and
yeah,
challenging when you're me,
yeah,
but it's okay because it works out and it helps. And sometimes you'll drop in and get something then, and sometimes it'll show up later in your day.
yes,
So,
yes,
yep.
exactly. Listen, guys, I've gone. When I used to work corporate a long time ago, I would go out and walk around the building without like earphones or anything, just to get my head a little clearer. And sometimes those answers come like that. So you can do what they call walking meditation. It's a little bit slower and more what do you call it? Intentional. Thank you.
There you go.
Um, but you can do it as simple as walking around a building. I know in Massachusetts we're cold right now. Bundle up, guys, and make it fast if you have to. But that's a place you can do it. I know someone who used to do it in the bathroom at work. They just sit in the
Oh,
stall for
that's
2 minutes.
smart.
Yeah, if you're still on, like if you're on the job somewhere. But also, it's again, it goes back to some like mindfulness. You can do it while you're doing the dishes. We're talking about some of the
Right.
Buddhist principles that are out there. Like, if you really want to do some, guys, and you say to yourself, I'm going to find a way to do this. I'm going to find a solution that your brain will give it right to you, babes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's my advice there. All right.
I love
I
that
know you.
advice.
Thank you. I know you're doing like triple, quadruple uh, work there, Jules. Sorry. I know you're doing the list and everything else.
No, I'm just trying to make
Um,
sure it refreshes. I don't want to miss anybody. But next we'll do Whitney.
Whitney. All right. Okay. So Whitney, one of the things I'm getting for you before I even lay a card out is that there's a nervousness. I can feel it in like the pit of your stomach. And I mean, it may be that I'm picking up just on a nervous energy, and that's the sign for me. But I get this nervous energy right now for you. So, and I'm hearing the spirit say to me, like, she does not have to worry. I mean, yes, I've got the Four of Swords reversed, the Five of Wands reversed, and the, sorry, Four of Cups. Okay.
Hmm.
So a lot of contemplation, a lot of thinking about what is coming up next for me. And I would say right now, the Four of Swords to me is always like I don't want to say it's like a physical death because it's not. It's more of I need to sit back and take some healing time. Usually it shows a person lying down and there's swords around them. Um, so it's like I think you need a little extra self-care for yourself right now, Whitney. And I'm not saying anything bad's happening, but I feel like you've either just been through a battle or you've been through something that's been really like, taking a lot of your energy and time. And really the spirits are saying to me, it's time to take a moment. Um, and to not be hard on yourself with this situation because I don't think you did anything that would have caused someone to react a certain way. And I don't think you did anything to make something change. I think someone was looking for excuses, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I would say right now it's um, getting your heart a little more settled than it is right now. And listen, we've had, like we talked about earlier, it's been a rough 2024. We've all been through stuff. I think, Whitney, you have too. I don't know if you're always good at admitting it to yourself that you've been through stuff. Hi, my hand goes up on the same. But like taking a little break for yourself, I think is really important right now. So yeah, give it a few weeks. Like just be like, let my heart settle, and you'll be just fine. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Lady, what are you
And I
getting, Miss
changed
Jules?
decks for her. So we got
Okay.
for her, I've got, let's see. Oh, beauty ritual. So maybe taking a
Ah,
little time for yourself, however that works. Do you like to get your nails done, your hair done, your lashes done, or just, it doesn't even have to be that, right? Maybe you feel good like when you're doing some kind of activity or,
yeah.
writing or whatever makes you feel like good and in like a beautiful space for yourself. So
Oh,
take the time to do a little bit of that. That might help reinforce.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently started rearranging some of my rooms. And I know that sounds like weird
See?
self-care, but it's like, oh, I want to create
No.
this space a little more the way I
I
want it
love
to be.
that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So there you go, Miss Whitney.
There you go,
All right.
Whitney. Margie's
What is
next.
Margie? All right. Whoop. Card flipped out for you, Margie. I've got ace of cups reversed. Geez, have I had enough caffeine today? Six of cups upright and the four of wands upright. Okay, so um, the ace of cups reversed tells me that there's some doubts about relationship or connection, but I think this is a good connection, and I feel like um, you've thought. Yeah, absolutely went to Suffolk. You're welcome, Whitney. Yes, I don't like to admit how many years ago I went to Suffolk, but I graduated in 1994. 94. Ugh. So, um, um, yeah, I was 12 when I went. No, actually, I was two.
Just
Okay, I was
prodigy.
two.
Prodigy.
Yes, yes. So, Margie, I think that the biggest thing for you is things are going to work out. Things are going to work out, hon. I think you doubting is okay, but fear doubting not so much. So you really got to go into like yourself and say, is it like, am I getting a nagging feeling this isn't going to work or something's not going to work, or is it that I have fear around it's not going to work? And it feels
Mm,
different. You know what I mean? It feels different. Like you get this nervous excitement when something's coming up and you're nervous about it. When that's a certain feeling, but fear is much different. Fear feels like it's in your bones, and so I would say. Just think about that, Margie. Things are going to work out. The doubts you're having, I would just clear them up. Like I would say something to somebody, I would ask the question, or I would like say what you need, and then everything opens up. But I think some of it, with love, girl, is on you to speak up about this, so you can clear that fear and that worry out. So.
well, and along those lines, I got positive affirmations for her self-care.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
even if that's just self-talk, like however works for you to, kind of bolster and achieve, getting over that, um, whatever's kind of stopping you or holding you back in whichever way, I think just kind of the self-talk, the affirmations could really benefit.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I think the other thing, just yes, we were very young, Margie. We were only two. Um, we went through
Doogie
Suffolk.
Howser up in here.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing, girl. I think the thing is that if it doesn't apply to a relationship in your mind, if it applies to work or something else, the main thing I would tell you is it's how you speak up about it and how you get clear on it. But a lot of it comes from you and your mouth. I hate to say it. So,
And
or
it
maybe it's an
could be
email.
practicing saying it before you go talk to them about it. Maybe
Ooh,
that's part of
yeah.
what we're getting.
Hmm.
Sometimes we got to
Listen,
talk it out with ourselves beforehand.
yeah, and I know, you can go to a good friend and say like, hey, I kind of need to figure out how I'm gonna run, like how I'm gonna approach this,
Yeah.
and your friend can, can give you some good advice. So, hmm,
Yep. 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 Yep.
excelente. All right, I think we have George, correct?
Yep.
All
And
right,
that's the
George.
last one I see.
Hello, George. George and I have known each other a long time. Not quite as long as me and Margie, but George and I have known each other a long time. So, all right, George. Oh, George. Sorry. First one that popped up was 501. So they always look like they're battling back and forth. Yeah, Margie, sorry, before I get into George's, yeah, Margie, that applies to your job. You gotta speak up because then it turns out the way that you want. Dreams come true. Um, so 501 for you, George, and then I have the Page of Pentacles, and then reversed, I have the Three of Wands. All right, George, listen. The battle, whatever the battles are, I know, sorry. Whatever
Here
the
comes the
battles are,
Sag.
George, yeah, totally. I think at this point, George, it's like you cut your losses. Okay. I, if you're fighting for something, okay. But if you're fighting for someone, cut your losses at this point, George. The reason why I say that is because I think it's stepping into your vision of the future. So, positive affirmations and attitude of gratitudes and all the things that we do to make something happen for us is important. But also, if your actions aren't necessarily matching that, they're not going to work together well. So, you want something different, you want to open up things. And George, I get that the battle, whatever battle that I'm seeing here, like I honestly get it's not worth it right now. Like I think you can move on to something else that's going to be more beneficial to you. I feel like yes, you're contemplating new work, new places to live, things like that. But I get the Eight of Swords reversed as overall for you, so it's you're being bound up, but part of it is you're binding yourself up.
Oh,
You know,
we don't know
you're
anything about that.
right. No, I'll definitely not. I don't know anything about that. But it's sort of like, do you ever see that meme where it's like, I'm now going to remove the mask of the person who has caused all my problems, and they remove it and it's
It's
a mirror of
me.
them, and you're
Right.
like, oh God, right? I'm not saying you caused all your problems, George. I don't mean it like that, but I think right now the actions you're taking that you're trying to move forward with, there's something that's dragging you back. You don't need to participate anymore. Okay. So that's what I would say to that, George. Let it go. I know there's a part of you that's like, ooh, I don't want to let it go, because you will have your chance to show them what's what, right?
Yeah.
So, but right now is not the time. Right now it's time to cut your losses so you can move forward. But that will come back around to show someone where you're at now. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah, yeah.
interestingly enough, I got burning bowl ritual for that. So
Oh,
if there are things you're having a hard time letting go of, write on a piece of paper, set it on
yeah,
fire in a
yes,
safe space.
yes.
But like you can
You
help
know,
release by doing that. Maybe not just in the living room, but
right.
if you have a fireplace, sure.
Sure.
So, but yeah, but it
Yeah.
might help. Sometimes when we have a hard time letting go of things, writing out what it is we want to let go of or get rid of, and then like setting it
Hmm.
ablaze
So,
helps and kind of thinking of it going away. So
yes, yes.
that's what I
Um,
got.
I do know that George is a Capricorn. So
Oh,
if you don't love the fire idea, I'm all about the fire because I'm a fire sign. So is Miss Jules. Um, but you might want to do something like you can rip it up and throw it into the wind. You can bury it. You can, put it in the water and let it go. Like you can do something more earthy if you want. Jules, you're really
right.
good at this.
No, I was
So
just
what would you
thinking, I was
say?
like, yeah. I mean,
Maybe burning at a
you could write
campfire?
it on, there's a few different ways you can do it. Like campfire could be cool. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm seeing like write it on toilet paper and flush it away. It's pretty
Oh,
practical. It's right there. It's easy to get. You don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff. You can just write it down and then flush it away.
flush it away.
You don't have to worry
Yes.
about going to a river if you're not close to one. You don't have to worry about like it's not pollution. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just like
Right.
that is what we do with those products anyway. You don't have to use a ton of them.
Right.
But that's
Right.
yeah. I
Love
think
that.
yeah. I think that you
Mhm.
could also keep seeing like putting it under like a paperweight or something to kind of stop it, to kind of slow it down or whatever. If you're feeling like that kind of energy, either of those. If you want it to go away,
Yeah.
bathroom. If you want to just slow down what's happening and maybe slow down if there's a lot of thoughts and what's happening here about it, like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it slows down, maybe I can see it more clearly. Put it like under like a paperweight.
I love that.
And then maybe check on it in 2 weeks and see how you feel about what you wrote down then.
Oh,
Maybe there's a shift.
there can be. And George just said, I will. I still have my letter. Yeah, George, you can release. I mean, you can release it for you. It doesn't have to be sent to somebody, or it doesn't have to be read to somebody.
Oh, yeah, totally. You don't have to give it to anybody. I've written many a letter and not actually given it to the person because it helps let that go for me.
Right.
When interacting with them may not really be beneficial.
Yeah. Sometimes it's I know with the 12-step stuff, it's I forget what exact step it is. I'm sorry, guys, but it's make amends as long as it doesn't hurt the person you're trying to make amends to. And
Sure.
I think that's something that's important to remember, that if you want to make amends or you want to reach out to someone, make sure it's not harmful to you or the other person.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that stuff just isn't. You've done your lesson in your lifetime, and that you keep moving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're welcome, George. You are very welcome. So, Jules, I think we have kept everybody tonight at a wonderful time, a wonderful pace, and I am so glad that you guys hung in with us.
Yes, thank you for being patient with we haven't done this in a while, technical difficulties.
Yes. So we are going to be back on December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, but we're going to do a nooner. We're going to be on at noon. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
I know, you're fine.
I'm super appropriate. But we're going to be on at noon because we know some folks like to hang out and get some food or go out for New Year's Eve. So we're going to jump on. We're going to talk a little bit about 2025, things you can do to work through 2025, because I will tell you, I think there are going to be some carryovers from 2024. So good ways to kind of work through that.
Yeah.
And we'll pull some cards.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So also, we do podcasts, you guys may know. So High Priestess Hype Club, I know. We have a new episode coming out tomorrow, guys. So, we've been on hiatus for a couple of months, but we do have a new episode coming out tomorrow. So check out Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. The other thing I'll mention to you guys real quick is our website, hypeclub.live, hypeclub.live. And we have a new offering on there. If you'd like to get a monthly forecast from us, you'll get a reading from me with your astrology chart. So we'll look at what's coming up for your month in astrology, because the planets are always changing. Julie will give you some magical tools to work with for the month. If we see something in your astrology chart that you want to enhance or you want to remove or whatever, Julie's got some really great magical recipes, if you want to call them, for that. We do have it's a monthly subscription. Please feel free to take a look at it. We'd love to be able to do this for you.
And it's tailored to what's going on in your chart and how the transits are hitting you specifically. So everybody's will be different.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is totally personalized, guys. So we would get your information, and then we would sit down and actually record a video for you about, hey, Julie, I'm looking at your chart and I see this and this are happening. So this is the things you need to look at, because, we look at those forecasts that are out there for astrology, but this one would actually be just for you.
Yep. Oh, and speaking of that, if you look on Mary's website, she has some astrology forecasts, I think, for the year, some different offerings right now. So if you want to know what's going on, hit up Mary at marydalba.com.
Yes.
And she'll set you up.
Jules, what's yours again?
It's julieatkinson.com. Look at me. Yeah. I finally did it. Yes. But you can look on there. I have some in-person stuff. I have some virtual stuff. So even if you're not in Virginia, we can connect. So it'll be good. Right. I mean, Mary's in Massachusetts, and we talk almost every day. So it'll all work out. Yay,
technology. Yay. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, December 31st at noon. We will see you then. And just remember, as we always say, you are magic. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right, now let's see if I can do this right. I'm going to stop the
We're
live
still
stream.
here. We gotta figure out how to turn it off.